Imagine this. You're 40, and you no longer have to get up every morning to go to work. No boss, no endless meetings, no constant stress about bills. Statistics show that most people will retire around 65, having accumulated decades of fatigue, stress, and a borrowed life of the daily grind. But what if I told you there was a way to change that trajectory? What if you could live without a salary after 40? Yes, you heard right. A life where you decide when you work, who you work for, and most importantly, what you work for. That's exactly what the movement is all about. FIRE. Financial independence, retire early, or in French, financial independence and early retirement. The concept is simple yet powerful. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about taking control of your financial life, saving wisely, investing strategically, and creating a system that allows you to no longer depend on a traditional salary. FIRE isn't a utopia reserved for a privileged few. It's a philosophy, a way of life that thousands of people have already adopted to achieve financial freedom well before conventional retirement age. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that your choices are no longer dictated by money, but by your passions, your projects, your desires. You can travel, learn, create, or simply enjoy time with your loved ones. This freedom, this absolute control over your life, is what FIRE promises. And today, I'm going to show you how, step by step, you can get closer to it, even if you're starting from scratch. Achieving financial freedom before 40 isn't just about dreaming. It's about building a solid foundation, and that foundation rests on three essential pillars: extreme savings, smart investing, and minimalism. Let's start with Save Smart. Many people think that to become FIRE, you have to earn astronomical sums of money. False. It's not just what you earn that matters, but what you keep and what you make grow. Every euro saved and invested strategically brings you one step closer to independence. This is where discipline comes into play. Cutting back on spending may seem restrictive at first, but it is this discipline that creates freedom. For example, some people have achieved FIRE by living in smaller apartments, cooking at home instead of going out every day, and limiting impulse purchases. These are choices that seem small, but they add up each month to create an impressive nest egg. Then there is smart investment. The money you set aside should work for you. Whether through ETFs, stocks, real estate, or other financial instruments, every euro invested generates a snowball effect thanks to compound interest. Imagine, you invest $500 per month at age 25 with an average return of 7% per year. By age 40, this small, regular effort can turn into several €100,000. That's the power of smart investing and patience. Finally, let's talk about the minimalism. FIRE isn't about being cheap or giving up all pleasure. It's about choosing what really matters. Reflecting on your priorities, eliminating the superfluous and focusing your resources on what brings value to your life. Some people have sold their luxury cars to invest in productive assets. Others have chosen to travel light to invest in their future freedom. Minimalism, combined with saving and investing, creates a virtuous cycle that accelerates your path to financial independence. But this path would not be possible without the right mentality. Patience, discipline, and a long-term vision are essential. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Every effort, every thoughtful financial choice brings you one step closer to the freedom you desire. Hundreds of people have done it before you, starting from scratch, and today they live without depending on a salary, free in their choices and their time. Remember, it is not enough to earn a lot, you have to know how to keep it and make it grow. FIRE isn't just a financial goal. It's a complete transformation of how you think, consume, and live. And it's this transformation that, step by step, will allow you to live the life you deserve before you even reach 40. If you really want to achieve FIRE before 40, the first concrete step is to drastically reduce your expenses. We call this the lifestyle frugality, or frugal lifestyle. But be careful. It is not about living in total deprivation or depriving yourself of all pleasure. It is about control every euro spent, to keep track of your finances, and above all, to avoid waste. Every euro saved is a step towards freedom. Let's start with housing, often the largest expense in a typical budget. Most people spend more than 30% of their income on rent or mortgages. For a FIRE aspirant, the goal is to reduce this burden, downsize, share an apartment, or choose a less expensive city. Yes, it requires sacrifices up front, but every euro saved on housing can be invested to generate passive income in the future. Next, let's talk about food dining out. Takeout or impulse purchases at the grocery store can quickly eat into your budget. A FIRE person will prioritize home cooking, buying in bulk, and meal planning. This may seem like a hassle at first, but in the long run, you'll save a lot of money and, as a bonus, often eat healthier. The transport. This is another area where frugal living makes a difference. Rather than owning an expensive car or paying for daily taxi rides, many FIRE people choose to cycle, take public transport, or use shared vehicles. Every travel savings, every thoughtful choice is another step towards financial independence. To give you a concrete contrast, the average person spends £2,000 to $3,000 per month on housing, food, and transportation. A FIRE person, with strict discipline and consistent monitoring, can reduce these expenses to £1,000 to $1,200 per month. The difference? Those thousands of euros don't disappear. They're invested and growing your capital. The most important thing to remember is that every euro saved is never lost. It's a seed planted for your future freedom. Frugality isn't a sacrifice. It's an investment in your future, a way to take back control of your life and decide that you're no longer a prisoner of the traditional system that requires you to work until you're 65. Adopting this lifestyle may seem radical to many, but remember, every little adjustment, every expense avoided, every thoughtful choice brings you closer to that magical moment when you can say, I am free. I decide my life. And that's exactly what FIRE is all about. Total freedom before even reaching 40 years old. Reducing your expenses is essential. But to achieve FIRE before 40, it's not enough to save money. You also need to increase your income. And when I say raise, I'm not just talking about waiting for a promotion or an annual raise. It's about create additional sources of income, to move away from the single monthly salary model and take control of your financial future. The first strategy is the side hustles or side hustles. It can be anything: selling handmade goods, creating an online store, giving private lessons, or even investing in the digital economy, like dropshipping or print on demand. The idea is simple. Use your skills, passions, or ideas to generate income on the side. Even an extra 200 to 300 euros per month can make a huge difference in the long run. Then there is the freelancing. With the internet, your talents can find a global market. Graphic design, writing, web development, translation, digital marketing. The opportunities are endless. And the best part? You work at your own pace, choose your projects, and every euro earned goes directly to building your FIRE capital. L'entrepreneurship is another powerful path. Starting a profitable business or project may seem risky, but it's often the fastest path to financial independence. Even a well-run small business can generate a passive or semi-passive income stream, drastically reducing your dependence on a traditional salary. A crucial point in all this: diversify your sources of income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Having multiple incomes protects you from unexpected events, accelerates your capital accumulation, and gives you more freedom in your choices. Imagine, you have your main income, a freelance activity, and a small online project. Even if one of these sources slows down, the others continue to work for you. To visualize the concrete impact, let's take a numerical example. You earn $2,500 per month, and you decide to create a side hustle that brings in an additional $500 each month. That's an additional $6,000 per year. If you invest this surplus at an average return of 7% per year, after 10 years, you will have accumulated approximately $80,000 more, significantly reducing the number of years needed to reach your FIRE goal. And this is just a modest example. Imagine several sources combined, each contributing to your capital. But be careful. Increasing your income requires discipline and motivation. The first few months can be tough. You have to manage your time, sometimes work after hours, and stay focused on your end goal. The key to sticking with it? Always remember that every extra effort brings you closer to your freedom, the ability to live without a paycheck and to have 100% control over your life. Every hour invested today is a step toward the future you deserve. So don't wait for the opportunity to come to you. Create it, diversify your income, and turn your efforts into financial freedom. This is exactly what those who achieve FIRE before 40 do. So far, we've talked about reducing your expenses and increasing your income. But the real driver of FIRE, it is investment. Saving and earning more is important. But if your money is sitting in a checking account, it's not working for you. To achieve financial freedom before 40, you need to learn how to make your money work for you. Let's start with the basics. The most accessible options are the actions, the ETF, and the real estate. Stocks represent shares of publicly traded companies. Buying shares means becoming a part owner of a company and benefiting from its growth. ETFs, or index funds, are baskets of stocks that track an index, such as the CAC 40 or the S&P 500. They're a simple way to diversify your investments without having to choose each stock individually. Real estate, on the other hand, allows you to generate regular rental income while watching the value of your assets grow over the long term. But what makes investing so powerful is the compound interest, or compound interest. Simply put, this concept transforms your earnings into new investments, which in turn generate additional earnings. The earlier you start, the stronger the snowball effect. Imagine, you invest $1,000 per month from the age of 25 with an average return of 7% per year. By the age of 40, this simple regular effort can turn into several €100,000. It's not a dream. It's the magic of compound interest and time. It is important to understand that each type of investment has its returns and risks. Stocks and ETFs offer high growth potential, but with short-term fluctuations. Real estate is more stable, but requires a greater initial effort and ongoing management. The key is the diversification. Don't put all your money into a single strategy, but combine several types of investments to maximize your chances and reduce your risks. Here's a concrete example to visualize the impact. Imagine you start investing $1,000 per month at age 25 in a diversified ETF, with an average annual return of 7%. After 15 years, by age 40, you could reach around $340,000. And that's just a modest example. If you add your savings from frugality and your additional income, you're on your way to achieving financial independence well before age 40. Investing requires discipline and patience. There will be times when markets fluctuate, when your gains seem too slow. But remember, consistency and a long-term vision are your best allies. Don't let emotions guide your decisions. Every euro invested regularly brings you closer to your FIRE goal. In short, smart investing turns your money into a true engine of freedom. It allows you to go from simply surviving to being able to live freely, to choose your projects, your passions, and your pace of life. Start early, invest regularly, diversify your assets, and let time and compound interest do the rest. This is how those who achieve FIRE before 40 turn simple euros into total independence. Even with a clear strategy to reduce your expenses, increase your income, and invest wisely, achieving FIRE before 40 is not a road without obstacles. There are psychological traps and common mistakes which can slow down or even compromise your progress if you don't pay attention to them. The first and most common trap is the impulsive spending. Sales, gadgets, trendy clothes. It's easy to give in to temptation. Every euro spent thoughtlessly is €1 less for your future freedom. Then there's the procrastination, postponing investments, putting off budgeting, or waiting for the perfect moment to get started is a waste of time and opportunity. And let's not forget, fear of taking risks. Many are hesitant to invest for fear of loss. But in FIRE, not investing can be the most costly risk in the long run. Now let's talk about the common mistakes that many people commit. First, the bad investments. Embarking on a project without analysis, following unreliable advice, or focusing on overly risky investments without diversification. Second, the uncontrolled debt, borrowing for unnecessary expenses or to maintain a lifestyle beyond your means, can sabotage your efforts. To achieve FIRE, you must learn to manage your debts intelligently, paying off those that hinder your capital accumulation and avoiding creating new ones unnecessarily. The key to navigating these obstacles is to have a solid and adjustable plan. Your FIRE plan should detail your savings goals, income sources, investments, and expenses. But it must remain flexible. Life changes, opportunities evolve, and sometimes the unexpected arises. Adjusting your plan without losing sight of your end goal is essential to staying on the path to financial freedom. Some practical tips for staying focused despite distractions. Automate your finances, savings, investments, and payments. The less you have to think about it, the less tempted you are to deviate. Set clear and measurable goals. Knowing how much you need to save each month, or what capital to aim for, makes your progress tangible and motivating. Surround yourself with people who share your values. FIRE friends or mentors can inspire you, advise you, and remind you of your goals when temptation strikes. Celebrate small victories. Every month of savings, every investment made, every debt repaid is a step towards your freedom. By keeping these pitfalls and mistakes in mind, you turn challenges into opportunities for growth. You stay disciplined, motivated, and able to continue on your path to financial independence, despite the inevitable distractions and obstacles. Because achieving FIRE before 40 isn't just a matter of financial strategy, it's a question of mentality and consistency. Achieving FIRE before 40 isn't just about numbers and financial strategies. It's also a profound change in lifestyle and mentality. Once you've built your capital and set up your investments, your daily life changes radically. You're no longer stuck in the routine of work-sleep. You're free to choose how to spend your time, what passions to pursue, and who to share your life with. The mindset is central to this new life. Patience is essential. You have built up your capital over several years, and every decision counts. Discipline remains your ally. Even if you are free, continuing to manage your finances carefully ensures that you stay on the path to lasting independence. And above all, the gratitude. Appreciate every moment of freedom, every project completed, every moment spent with your loved ones. This attitude transforms your financial success into true personal satisfaction. But being FIRE doesn't mean living in total austerity. The balance between frugality and quality of life is crucial. Frugality allowed you to create your freedom, but now you can use your time and resources wisely. Traveling, learning new skills, investing in your relationships and passions. This is the true meaning of freedom. The idea is not to deprive yourself, but to consciously choose where to invest your time and money, where it has the most value to you. To visualize this way of life, let's imagine a typical day of a FIRE person. In the morning, you wake up naturally, without an alarm. You start with an activity that inspires you: exercise, meditation, reading, or writing. Then you dedicate a few hours to your personal projects or your passions. Creating an online business, writing, learning, or developing your skills. At noon, you enjoy a leisurely lunch, often with loved ones, without stress or the obligation to rush to the office. The afternoon can be dedicated to enriching activities, meeting friends, traveling, working on your investments, or even taking time to rest. In the evening, you end your day with moments of relaxation, reflection, or planning to continue moving calmly towards your long-term goals. This daily newspaper perfectly illustrates what FIRE means: freedom to decide, control of one's time and personal development, while maintaining financial discipline that ensures the sustainability of this freedom. This lifestyle is the result of years of effort, sacrifice, and discipline. But the result is worth every decision made on the path to FIRE. To understand the power of FIRE in concrete terms, there is nothing better than real stories of people who have managed to retire before 40. These examples show that it is not just for the ultra-rich. Even with an average income, financial freedom is achievable with discipline and strategy. Let's take the example of Sophie, 38 years old today. For her first 25 years, she lived a classic lifestyle. Average salary, classic expenses, few investments. But at 28, she discovered FIRE. She began by drastically reduce expenses, lives in a small apartment, cooks at home, and plans her budgets down to the last cent. Then she boosts its revenues with freelance graphic design and creates a small online business. Finally, she regularly invests in ETFs and rental property. Result: in 10 years, Sophie multiplied her capital by 5 and was able to leave her traditional job at 38, with sufficient savings to generate a comfortable passive income. Another example: Mark, an engineer with an average monthly income of $2,500. Like many, he thought FIRE was unattainable. But by following the principles, extreme frugality, smart side hustles, regular investments, he transformed his modest income into significant capital. At 39, he lives off his investments and pursues his personal projects without depending on a salary. His before-after figures show that even an average income can be enough if you control your finances and invest wisely. These stories share several key lessons. Start early. Every year counts to benefit from the snowball effect of investments. Regularity is more important than the exact amount. Even small amounts, invested systematically, create impressive capital. Discipline and patience are essential. The temptation to spend or procrastinate can slow progress. Freedom is accessible to all. You don't need a huge salary, but a clear strategy and the willingness to follow the plan.